Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right, and you now tuned in to the Viewers Anonymous podcast, where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. Before we get into it, make sure you following us on all socials, on Instagram and Twitter at ViewerAnonPod, on Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group, on YouTube at Viewers Anonymous. Make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And follow us on Patreon. Sign up, $2.99 a month, become a viewer. Last but not least, make sure you're following us on Spotify as well, where you can not only listen to us, you can watch us. This is an emergency pod. This is a pop-up pod. We have, first off, we got a special guest with us. You know what I'm saying? You may have seen him on various platforms that he has all across multiple social medias, or you may have seen us all together on our old pod, the 4-3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, you know what I'm saying, into all of this good stuff, man. Our boy JD, what's up with you, my boy?
What's up, man? What's happening? Shane, what's up, my boy?
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Had to throw some applause on there for you.
Yeah,
but
been a minute.
Yeah, man. Last but not least, this podcast is also sponsored by W Energy. Make sure you go get it. Hit our link in the description. W.GG. Use the code VAPOD. Get 10% off all your orders. Everything that you need. And that's that, bro. What's up with you, though, man?
Man, I'm making it, bro. I just seen this movie, bro, and I hit it's not like, bro, when y'all doing this one? Because I got to get it. I need parts.
Absolutely.
I got to have parts on this one.
So this pop-up pod is about the movie Sinners, written and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Wumi Masako, Miles Catton, Haley Steinfeld, I think is her name, Delroy Lindo, and Jack O'Connell, and
Omar Benson Miller.
Yeah, Omar Miller. Yep. Real quick synopsis. This movie is about two twins who had left Mississippi to go to war. Ended up in Chicago. They did some things in Chicago. They ended up coming back home to Mississippi to pretty much start a juke joint. And they grabbed their young cousin, Preacher Boy, and a bunch of other people in the cast to run the juke joint. And somehow, some way, vampires pop up in this movie. So that's that. Now, where do we start with this joint, bro? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because I'm ready to get to it. Where do y'all want to start with this, bro?
That's a good question, because the plot is so all over the place. It's kind of hard to really, you know what I'm saying, pinpoint a start.
Yeah.
But I would like to say this though. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be more on the music tip.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I'm starting to realize and appreciate, and you know, just big myself up just a little bit, is how good the Stolen Time podcast was. And this is the reason why I'm saying this. So me, Uncle Washington, shout out to my guy Casey. We had an episode long time ago. I'm talking about, this is early stages. This is before we hit the hundreds. Mm-hmm. We had an episode where we talking about music. Casey brings up this guy. Me personally, never fucking heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Casey brings up this guy by the name of Robert Johnson. So he gets to talking about him, like, you know, talking about his blues and talking about how, you know, back in the day, people believed that the devil got into him. That's why he was so good and all this little shit like that. 'Cause that was like he was an average player. And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, he just got good. So we talked about this shit back in like 2017.
Yeah.
Now, they did a documentary probably around the pandemic time.
Yeah, that's how I found out about him.
Yeah, it was like the crossroads of like Robert Johnson, some shit like that.
Yep.
Netflix did a documentary on it. So I'm watching this movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Preacher Boy and all this type stuff, and I'm like, and I just kept getting these vibes, man. I was like, man, I'm getting these vibes, man. Like, I kind of feel like this dude is kind of like somewhere in between, like being like Robert Johnson, like somehow, some kind of way. But then to see how much, what the dude name was, Remick? Or
yeah,
what was his name?
Remick.
Yeah, like Remick. They was dead set up, like they didn't really give a fuck about it. I won't say that they didn't give a fuck about everybody else.
No, you're right. They did.
They really wanted Preacher Boy.
Yeah, like
they really wanted him, and like that just gave me those Robert Johnson vibes. So I'm sitting here listening to All the Smoke because Ryan Coogler is doing his fresh run. What do I hear? Robert Johnson. I'm like, bro, sometimes I be on it, but I'm just saying I be on it. But I thought that was like that part of it, the musical part of it, and one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when it like that. I say when the juke joint really turned up and you start seeing all these, like when they started bringing like,
hey, bro,
urban stuff into it, yeah. And one of those dudes, one of those dudes supposed to be Bootsy Collins, right?
No. Who
that was supposed to be?
One dude, the dude from the Funkadelic dude. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That wasn't supposed to be Bootsy Collins. It couldn't have been Bootsy Collins.
Bro, I'm telling you, it was supposed to be him.
Because he had on a do-rag. Bootsy Collins never wore a do-rag. Then they wore a top hat. And the star glasses. They should have put the star glasses in the top hat.
He did, didn't he?
No, he had on a do-rag. Or like a scarf.
No, you talking about two other dudes. You talking about the other dude too.
The dude
that
in
was
the blue?
two dudes.
Okay, I didn't see that. I just seen the dude.
Was the purple.
Yeah, that's what I seen. That was the first one that not walked in, but the first one that came from the future when they showed it. That's who I had seen. I didn't see now I got to go see it again now because I ain't see Bootsy.
Yeah. That one because he had the star glasses and the top hat on.
Okay, so I missed that thing.
Bootsy Collins, but like just to see them like, you know what I'm saying, intertwine. You know what I'm saying, 30s. With the new era, they brought the DJ in. You got girls twerking over here in the corner.
You got niggas.
Like, man, it was wild. Me personally, I've never seen nothing like that. And like anytime you can show me something in cinema that I really haven't seen, that shit was dope as fuck. I don't know how y'all feel.
Let's stay there because to me that is also my favorite part of the movie. Y'all know how I am with music. Like that's my shit. Like that shit live in me. So when I seen that scene, bro, chills went through my fucking body. Because I don't think people really understand how connecting music is. Like, music is like literally like life, right? And when you are sad, you listen to a certain type of music. When you happy, you listen to a certain type of music. When you angry, you might listen to a certain type of music. Like music really is a light, like damn near a life source. So seeing him playing it, first and foremost, shout out to Miles Catton, because that nigga is a talent. Different. First off, I heard he was a backup singer for her. So I thought that was dope. Yeah. But nigga, that nigga voice, bro.
Yeah.
When that nigga was in the car and he got the strumming and that nigga started singing, when that nigga Michael B. Jordan looked over, I looked up like, what the fuck? Nigga, all I could do was just smile, bro, through the whole shit. Anytime that nigga start singing, I just start smiling, bro. So when we get to the juke joint and he finally performed, and you just start seeing everybody just sit there, and at first, they caught up in it, like, damn, like that boy good. Man, that boy got the raising that note and start getting into it. And then once you start hearing all of the different sounds and all of the mixtures of the sounds, and what I thought was super dope about the whole scene was they was taking what he was playing and they were switching it up and putting it in different versions. So like the first one, when the elder came out with, I don't know the name of the instrument, but I'm sure it's whatever the banjo came from. But when he was playing that, he was strumming on that, and he was playing his version of what Miles was playing or what Preacher Boy was playing. And then you see the Future, when you see the Funkadelic dudes come out and they playing the electric guitar version of what he playing, and then the DJ he scratching whatever he's playing, and then you just hear it all throughout the thing, and then when it all mash up and you just hear him singing, you don't even hear him playing no more. You just hear him singing over everything. I was like, bro, that was the hardest thing I've ever seen in a movie.
And then the roof was on fire.
Oh no, that the symbolism of that. Come on, bro. We don't need no water. This motherfucker burned. Do you hear me, bro? This nigga literally burned the house down, bro. Like that to me was super fucking dope because it's like for them to explain it in the beginning of the film, right? And it's a short little piece. It ain't long. It ain't over the top. It's just it show you a couple drawings and Annie explaining some shit, and then boom, it get right into the movie. And then when you finally see what's going on and you actually see that in the film, bro, that was A1 film, bro. That's A1 movie production, direction, whatever you want to call it. That's how you make a movie, bro.
Thanks.
JD, man, what did you think, bro?
See, y'all hit a lot of my stuff, man, but y'all missing like a really, really cool spot of this thing, man. Because and trust me, I've watched like enough dudes talk about it to where I don't think anyone's really talked about this.
Yeah.
Like if you notice in that same spot right there, you see the Asian couple, the Asian homies. They are also represented in that too. Like you see they ancestors getting down and getting to it, and they dancing to it. So it's so much of it. Like I know in the world we think like we so different than everybody. Like I know as African Americans, like think we got this culture or whatever, but everybody got some culture with them. Like they got something that come with them. But if you think about it, the thing that draws the vampires to them is the ability to bring everybody together. Like he needs his voice to do that. Like he needs his particular voice to do that thing. So y'all are bringing in all these pieces. Like you talking about, you know, the person from back in the day that could do it. And they said he thought it was possessed by the demon, and that's what made him be able to do what he needed to do. Well, we've been using music since the beginning of the time. Like we've been just using it and like using it to bring people in. And I got some stuff we're gonna talk about a little bit with the music game now, the music industry now that's gonna tie into this, and why the people want these like generational talents, or so to speak, and how they get caught up in all the devilment of whatever is going on, the demonic stuff that they have, especially with like this whole Diddy situation. But I want to like take a minute and park on this Asian piece of this thing because we haven't really talked about it too much. Like, look at how big of a part that Asian couple plays in the movie, even to that part of it. Like they basically like family. Yeah. Like,
well, you know why though, right?
I mean, I'm assuming that they the plug, the Asian people the plug.
Well, no, so
they're part of the community.
Yeah, they're part. So back then, right? So the people that was like working on the railroads and all that type shit, obviously when that was done, they got casted off. You know, basically the same way the black people did. So what they did was they was in between. You know what I'm saying? Like the top of Mississippi to like the middle of it. And what they did was they was like kind of like the bridge where, and it's a real story, real situation where they had stores on both sides of the street, one for the white side, one for the black side. So they was really just kind of in the middle, but they also, you know, making money, but also like they knew that we can make money with the white people. And you know what I'm saying, they just get their goods or whatever, but like they end up becoming like family with the black people because they saw that they was being treated the same way that they were. But so what Ryan Coogler did is actually something that actually really happened in real life, where these Asian people would have stores on both sides of the street, you know what I'm saying, and just sell stuff. Because remember the little girl was at one side, and then she was like, "Hey," he was like, "Go get your mom," and she had to run across the street to go get her mom. So
what was real important though about that is the fact that if you paid attention to it, the dad was on the side where the black people were. Yeah. And the mom was on the side where the white people were. That's a very important.
But did you hear how the mama talk though?
They all talk. They all got that accent.
No, but did you peep how the mama was talking though?
To Smoke.
Yeah, when she was talking to Smoke, you keep that like how she code switched. Because when she was in the store, she code switched when she got with the homies, like, hey, yo, for real, like Smoke, don't come in with that, you know what I'm saying? That blah blah blah. Like, she was with it. But
see, that was essential back then, though. I mean, and to some extent it still is, though. But back then that was super that was a necessity down there, because you didn't want to do anything to rile nobody up at that time.
Facts.
Because it was down there lawlessness in the fucking South in the 30s, in the 20s, in the teens, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So to have, you know, that type of representation, and for it to be as accurate as it was, this, like I said, bro, Ryan Coogler, man, that dude, he don't miss. He don't miss. I'm gonna be honest with you. He does not miss. From what he did, even with Wakanda Forever and the character Namor, and taking them back to Mesopotamia, and then even moving that up from Mesopotamia to when the Spaniards came, and even when, you know what I'm saying, like, and continuing, bro, that dude don't miss, bro.
He's a true student, man. If you read, like, if you like really pay attention, like, he giving nuggets the whole time, like time he giving nuggets, like even in the first part of the movie, like, I don't know if you peeped this in the first part of the movie when my man is going to grab the guitar, like, you know what I'm saying, he like, yo, like, you can't do this right now, like, hey, where you going, where you trying to go at? He's like, oh, I got up early in the morning. Like, it's Bible references to that, like, you work early in the morning so you can get there, so you can do what you want to do. Like, that's the Bible emphasis. Like, the person that gets up early, does the work early, they sharecroppers, man. Like, these people are busting their behinds. That means he's been up since like 5 a.m, literally,
before like, the sun come up down there.
Yeah, I mean, he's done waking his little brothers and stuff up and siblings up just so he can go to the church where his dad is already in there preparing a message. Like, so it's, bro, there's so many different layers to this thing, man. Like, I don't know if we got enough time to go through all of it, but bro, I'm telling you, like, if you got some time and you was paying attention, like, you gonna get all kind of nuggets. You're not gonna get it on the first time you watch it neither.
And I think it was super important that he added that sharecropping element into it too, because that was the whole reason for things like juke joints, for I'm gonna say shack houses, shot houses. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of those different elements for us to congregate and be able to be ourselves and be able to, you know, quote unquote, let our hairs down. Because it was a lot of places we couldn't go. You know what I'm saying? And I think another important piece that he added in there is when they had got back from Chicago, and Stack and Preacher Boy was in the car. And Sammy was asking him, you know, how fast this thing go? He was like, man, you know, go fast. He was like, you want to drive? He like, yeah. He like, we're going to do that later. So when it had got to the point of him, you know, riding, and he had asked him about his dad and that whole situation, and then, you know, he started asking him about Chicago. And it was, I think that was when Smoke and Stack was in the car when he asked him about Chicago. And they was Smoke had told him, he said, Chicago ain't nothing but Mississippi with taller buildings. I thought that was very, very, very important to the story, because a lot of people, especially with what we learn in school and everything else about history, everybody just think that, like, that type of shit was in the South, right? Like, we just think like racism was just all in the South. It wasn't, bro. That shit was all throughout the country. That's what this whole shit is built on. And movies like this, another movie like Gangs of New York and those type of movies, I like watching those movies because they give you a sense of reality of what life was like at those times. This in particular, even though I know this is supposed to be a vampire movie, that first like 40, 45 minutes, you fucking forget vampires is in this movie.
You don't have no introduction to him. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I forgot what the movie was all about. But it's that good to where I was forgetting. I'm like, damn, like, bro, these niggas is really these niggas. Like, everybody that's talking to him is respecting him. The one little girl, she got scared. He was like, yeah, I'm smoked. She was like, oh shit. He was like, nah, you ain't in no trouble. I'm like, oh, these niggas was menaces. So I like that, you know what I'm saying, the element of having their backstory where you got bits and pieces of it, but you still don't know why the Smokestack Brothers is the Smokestack Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You just know that these niggas, whatever they did it.
Yeah, whatever they did, you could tell they were feeling
Absolutely.
and they were respected. The whole scene where when they was in the city, you know what I'm saying, trying to get stuff, he saw the one girl, hey, trying to make some money. And he was like, yo, I'll give you, a nickel or whatever. And then she was like, okay. She was like, don't never let money be a one-sided conversation. Like always, you know what I'm saying, try to negotiate. So he negotiated her for to stay there. He goes, blow the horn or something happen. Horn blows. He goes like this, no questions asked. Shoot first, ask questions later. Just shot him in his ass, man. And then not only did he shoot him in his ass, shot the other dude just cause, like, you with him. So you know what I'm saying, go patch both y'all selves up. But like,
and pay for it. And pay for
it. Yeah. But then it was just the whole point of like, oh, like, Smoke, I didn't know it was your truck. He was like, man, she was like, no, I told you it was your truck. Well, I didn't believe you. You know what I'm saying? which at the time is viable because they weren't there. They left. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So they came back and, they didn't make no introduction that they were coming back. So that's what their whole thing was going into town and going into getting everybody together to try to tell people like, yo, like, we putting together this whole, you know what I'm saying, juke joint, which that part I knew it was fishy from the rip.
Facts.
Like when first of all, I like the little joke. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? When the dude get out, yo, y'all twins? Nah,
because yeah, hard. Nah. He good at that one-liner shit. I will give Michael B. Jordan that. He's good at that one-liner shit. Between that and the one where he was like, "Hey, auntie," that shit, he
knocked those out the park for sure. Yeah. But like, it's like we knew, at least I did. I was like, we're gonna see that fat white dude again at some point. Like,
second favorite part of the film. Second favorite. Of course.
Hey, wait, are y'all peeping? Did y'all peep who they work for? Because they didn't work for the same people.
They work for so they went up and told everybody they was going to work for Al Capone. That was the rumor. But
they work for two people though.
Yeah, what I seen was that they worked on two different sides, right? So I think Smoke was working with the Irish mob, and Stack worked for the Italian mafia. And what I like about that is not only did the way that they dress gave that away, but the way that they carried themselves gave that away too. Because in them times, the Italian mafia was going crazy. Like that they ran shit. Like they was reckless, fearless. They didn't care. The Irish mob moved a lot smoother. They was real quiet about what they did. If business needed to get done, they got it done. You don't really hear about Irish mobsters.
Yeah.
But you always you done heard about the mafia forever. You done heard about Dillinger and Babyface and all these other niggas and Scarface. You done heard about all these niggas. You ain't never heard too much about the Irish mob.
Did you catch the part about the money exchange? He was pissed off that they was taking the plantation money and they was down, and he didn't like it. Yeah. I think it was Smoke. Smoke didn't like they was taking. Smoke. He didn't like that they was exchanging their plantation money. So it got me to thinking, like, what was the exchange rate of the plantation money and then the regular white folks money? Because you gotta remember, when they pull up to the John, like to do everything, they got American money. They don't have that plantation money. They got real life cash that they didn't either hit either the Italians up for or the Irish people up for. But I think they hit them. I think they hit them both up. I think they hit them up in different ways. I think they got the truck from the Irish people with the beer on it, and I think he got the money from Al Capone and the Italians.
And got the wine too, because they had wine and they had beer.
And and they had Italian beer.
Yep. So this is something that I personally learned from my grandmother. My grandmother grew up in Georgia, social circle, and she told me when I was younger, she had said one time, like, I used to pick cotton. So, as a kid, you was a slave. So she laughed. She like, nah, hell no, but I'm no damn slave. She was like, my grandma used to pick cotton in the fields, and I used to be out there with her, helping her, you know what I'm saying? And so the more and more she told me, she was talking about how they used to get paid. And so sharecropping is super, super important in our history because sharecropping was like a legal form of slavery. Because basically, well, I ain't gonna say legal form of slavery. It was indentured servitude. So basically what they did was so for instance, when he had the two wooden nickels, he was like, these could be used at such and such a store. They used that money in that community. You can't go nowhere else outside of that community with that. And so it's only good there. So even if you go to a goods store or whatever, you can still use it. It ain't worth shit, but it's good there, right? And so, like for instance, it'd be like it would be considered like a promissory note. You know what I'm saying?
Like a voucher.
So, yeah, like a voucher, exactly. And so, because they was able to give them this type of currency, it basically kept them in that community, and you had to be a sharecropper, right? Because you wasn't getting paid shit for real. You really was working for free, but you had the ability to go to the store and still get shit with some type of a currency and everything else. So it really gave like a false sense of freedom. You felt like you got off the plantation, but you really wasn't off the plantation. And that's basically what it was.
Now I'm gonna take you back to the store again. Remember when he said that he sent him across the street? He said, "I got something to buy from y'all." He pulled out the wad of money.
Yeah,
she didn't move. The wife didn't move until she seen what type of money he had.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? Like she wasn't really trying to do the sign for him
because she ain't used to that.
Nah, she was like, "Whoa, what you got?" Like, you know what I'm saying?
Remember, she worked on the white side, so she not used to seeing the plantation money.
She ain't even trying to do this shit for the plantation money. She's not trying to do no work. So she's like, "Oh well, how much you gotta pay?" She's like, "How much is it gonna cost me?" She's like, "A lot." And she's like, "Okay, well, damn, like I got it." Like he goes in, pull out a bill, like I got this, and then all of a sudden she snapped to it. She's like, "Oh, let's get this stuff in the truck. Let's do, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's move because it's real money to be made." And that's how people treat people that they don't believe have anything for them. Like when you go on a car lot or wherever you at, if they don't think you got no money, you getting the worst service. Even when patching up the little boy, he paid to patch the little dudes up.
So you might not get no service you go in the car lot nowadays. They damn sure gonna check that credit score. They gonna that credit score, if that motherfucker anything below acceptable, they gonna laugh you out that motherfucker.
And you just gotta take a big bag so they think it's money in it.
Good luck with that shit. Get the cops caught on your ass. But what I thought was dope in the movie as well was the fact that they made Annie, who is Smoke's, I want to say wife, but they made her a hoodoo and voodoo practitioner. And to me, that was so authentic to being in those areas of Mississippi, Louisiana, parts of Texas, parts of Florida. And of course some areas in Georgia for sure, but like in those bayou type areas, hoodoo and voodoo was a major thing. And what I really dug about the thing too was when she was talking to Smoke when they was in her shack, and she was, you know what I'm saying, talking, and he was talking about how he loved her and he missed her and everything after they had their conversation. She started speaking Creole to this nigga. Yo, that fucked me up. That fucked me up big time. Because to add that little small piece, like a lot of people probably didn't even realize that's what was going on. But that small little piece of her adding that Creole to it was so, it was like a cherry on top of a sundae, bro. that shit was like perfection. Because like because y'all can probably attest to this more than I can. I don't really know any actual hoodoo or voodoo practitioners or anybody. I'm sure it's in my family, we probably had a few, but I know that it's a lot of things we do today that come from hoodoo and voodoo, right? Like when you know they tell you don't let nobody sweep your feet, or you know what I'm saying, your mom don't put her purse on the floor, or you know stepping on the crack you break your mama's back, stuff like that. Like that's all, or even like some of our New Year's traditions. That's all hoodoo and voodoo. So to be able to see somebody portray that, and in this time it not be a fair-skinned woman or a light-skinned woman doing it, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a dark-skinned woman being, you know, what we've always seen in life. Like I'm sure that a lot of well, I can't say a lot of our grandmas, but I'm sure that most of our grandmas, you know what I'm saying, are dark-skinned women or darker toned women, and they, especially if they're from the South, they say some shit and you'll be like, Grandma, what are you talking about? I don't know what none of that shit mean, until you get older and you be like, damn, she was right. So to be able to have that connection to Annie, for me, I thought was super, super dope, because the first person I thought about was my grandma. That's the first person I thought about.
Now that's dope and a good observation, but at the same time, I think that she was so necessary for this film because none of the last like 40 minutes of the movie really would make sense if you think about it.
Not at all.
Because Black people wouldn't have any knowledge of this type of shit.
Hell no.
But because she was in the voodoo and hoodoo shit, you know what I'm saying, it made sense to her to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying, garlic, you know what I'm saying, steak in the heart and all this type of stuff, just from some of the teachings and the things that she's heard from being in that lane, kind of gave her knowledge of what to do in these type of situations. But not only that, remember, hold on, which one? So Stack was the one that got turned, right?
Yeah.
So Smoke always wore that thing around his neck that she gave him.
The mojo bag, yeah.
Remember when he was about to bite him, couldn't do it.
Well, no, that was because he had the silver on his neck.
Yeah, the two. But it was crazy. They both had them though.
Well, remember,
no, not both of them.
Yeah,
both the brothers had the
Smoke,
two. The dimes.
Smoke had Stacks.
No,
he had it in his pocket.
But why though?
I don't know. I just know when he tried to bite him and Stack. I forgot how he got off of Stack, or Stack got off of him or whatever. But when Smoke got up, at the end of it, he reached in his pocket and he snatched the one shit off first. He snatched the mojo bag off first. And he reached in his pocket and he had one on his neck and he had another one in his hand.
I do recall that, but I wonder if he took it off of him. My thing is, I wonder if he took it off of him when he was trying to kill him.
Nah.
But she should have been.
You know what? You know what? You might be right. Because he did have something around his neck at the time.
At first,
but it wouldn't have made sense. It wouldn't have made sense for that to be silver though, because that's how Mary got him. So Mary wouldn't have been able to bite him.
We might have found
we
might have found a flaw in this movie. That might be the only one.
I got to see this. This is why I got to go back and watch it now. God, dog, man, that's a great observation. But I didn't even think of that.
But even hold on, no, what's her name in this? Hold on,
Mary
Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, Mary. So Mary, right?
Yeah.
Now this is the crazy part about this whole shit. Is Haley Steinfeld?
Yes.
Haley Steinfeld is actually like perfect for the role, like for real. Like the character. So y'all seen that movie? I don't know if y'all seen it. I know of it, but I never watched it. It was a movie called Passing. Yes. Which was basically like Black women that could pass to be white women. So she was actually one of those women, right? But in real life, bro, she's the same person. Yeah, I think her grandfather was mixed.
Yeah, she's one that.
Exactly, and I was like, yo, that shit is so crazy. She's actually like perfect for the role.
Yeah,
but I did hear some people kind of say, But at the same time, it's like, yo, fuck that shit. They were raised like brothers and sisters and shit, but obviously they weren't really brothers and sisters.
Okay, nah, that's where they got it wrong. They were not raised like brothers and sisters. Let's get that out of there.
He said,
but they was raised in the same household.
Yeah, the mom just took care of them. In. Yeah, basically, them niggas was running the streets, so they was barely there. They was just getting food,
and she younger than them.
To sleep. Yeah, so it wasn't no brother and sister type shit. It was these niggas was wilding, and the mom was just looking out for them. Basically, that's all it was.
Yeah.
And I don't think Mary I don't think Mary was no sweet girl neither. Like, I don't think she was really just
not being around them niggas.
Not being around them. Not with smoke. Not what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because she called him out like at the train station, bro.
Yeah, she said, "You can't fuck me like that and leave." Oh, what?
Like, I had to look up what it meant. Like, what she was saying.
Hey, man. Hey man, she said you've been robbing and taking shit from the mob and the mafia. You ain't gonna come steal this pussy. I said, well, goddamn.
We see.
That'd be my first sip of milk, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd try it. I'm sorry. You can't talk to me like that, man. You can't talk to me like that.
Stop the movie for a minute. Let's Josh Allen gonna be mad now.
Hey, Josh, you got an issue, Josh.
He already mad. Josh already mad. But
if she talking to him like that, this nigga is about to have an immaculate season next season, bro. This nigga's about to win the Super Bowl. I promise.
Josh about to be trash this year, bro. I'm telling you.
Sheesh.
The way he getting clown right now, bro. He can't catch, especially when they keep showing that video of her looking at him from behind her.
Yo, the way it's too much chemistry, bro. This shit like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Nah, it ain't.
You better stop. Shut. You on to something, my boy? I'm telling you.
Michael B. Jordan. If you out there listening,
caught another one.
However, no, Michael B. Jordan. You seen what happened to Jonathan Majors, but keep your ass.
Come on, man.
Keep your ass out the way. Listen, if you catch her when she down bad. Don't get her right now. She too red hot. I'm sorry, she's white hot. Don't do that, bro. Don't touch it, bro.
Anyway,
don't touch it.
So this is something that also tripped me out about this movie, right? So if you put real life into it, like all the gyms and all that type shit. So obviously, like, she's passing as a white woman. That's why she moved away, because I believe she moved to like Arkansas. She married a white man because obviously she knew her life would be better. You know what I'm saying? Being passing as a white woman. Now, technically, if we speak in law terms, her husband supposed to be locked the fuck up.
Well, time out.
Yeah,
we don't know what the laws was like in Arkansas at the time.
We do know that you couldn't, if you whatever your daddy was, that's what you was.
Remember, it was the one drop rule back then. Yeah, it was the one drop rule. Yeah.
So, have you ever seen the movie Free State of Jones?
Yes.
Oh, you're right. They should have went to jail.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what the laws was in Arkansas.
Yeah, technically, but we don't necessarily know. I mean, it's in the South, but because in the Free State of Jones,
is it really in the South though?
What?
I mean, it's
Louisiana?
No, Arkansas.
No, Arkansas.
Arkansas definitely the South. Have you been there?
No, I'm just saying, where's position? Like, is it really this? That's like when
Jerry Jones was out there, you know what I'm saying, yelling at black people.
Jerry Jones don't count. Yeah. He lived closer to Texas. That don't count. I'm saying,
he from Arkansas, bro.
I know what I'm saying. He lived closer to Texas. That's why it's Texarkana. He from that motherfucking area probably. That's why he act like that. Listen, that's like when you go to Kentucky and they be like, "Welcome to the South." This is not the South.
Hey man,
Kentucky is not the South, bro.
Is it under the Mason-Dixon line?
Probably.
Kentucky is.
But I've been to Kentucky multiple times. I'm 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from Kentucky. That ain't no goddamn South.
The part that you coming through, but I'm talking about the lower parts of Kentucky is probably Southern. Man, all I'm telling you is, man, if it's under the Mason-Dixon, come down here. And see
I don't want to experience Southern racism by far. Trust me. I'm good. I'm good with this. Guess it or not, Northern racism. I'm cool with that. I'm not the type of nigga that you can that they can just call nigger to the face. I'm not that guy.
I'm gonna put this out there, and I think one of you said this about being from the South. Like you mentioned, New Orleans. You mentioned all the places that was Creole. Well, there's one right in our backyard, Sean. They just call it something different. They don't
Gullah
call
Geechee,
it
right?
It's Gullah Geechee.
Yeah.
So that's the same stuff. Like if you go walk the I'm not even lying. If you walk the Battery late at night and down in Charleston, you hear some of the craziest stuff. Like you hear like whales and stuff like that. Bro, I am not trying to hold y'all. Like it is the scariest thing down there.
Well, I know about Gullah Geechee because we did I can't say we. My mom, she went back and did some ancestry
the Gullah
stuff.
Tours. Oh, the tours too. The tours crazy.
No, I'm not saying do that. She did some ancestry stuff, and even though our family was basically centered in Social Circle, we got family in South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, I believe Alabama. I think that's where it ends. But we find out that we not Gullah, we Geechee. Yeah, we found out we was Geechee. So Gullah is more Caribbean, and Geechee is more of the mainland shit. So what I also found out was those are Indian tribes. Them ain't just like names and shit. Them actual Indian tribes. And then because North Carolina, South Carolina next to each other, they just say Gullah Geechee.
Glad you did the research right there.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I had to find out. I also found out that I'm part Irish and Italian. So you know what I'm saying? This movie definitely connected with me. More Irish than Italian though. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather, my dad's dad, was a very fair-skinned redhead man. You know what I'm saying? His nickname was Big Red. So he was Black Irish.
That's what's up.
What's up.
But to finish that one point though, was so Free State of Jones, like the whole thing was like real quick synopsis, like so Matthew McConaughey's character left the war, got with a slave who was a house slave, so she was mixed, got her pregnant, but while she was pregnant, his wife, all her shit get robbed. She find him, come with her child, so he got both of his new wife and his old wife in the same house, his kid with the slave and his kid with the other wife. And so the slave girl got sick and she told him to say that it was his wife's baby,
right? So
it can have a better life. But while this movie's going on, there's also a trial going on. And so the baby ended up being a boy, and then they found out that his mom was actually the slave and it wasn't the other woman's, and he went to jail for trying to marry a white woman. So that dude in Arkansas should have watched his back. You ain't never that shit, dude. That's a
no. Free State of Jones
I'm looking at Jamar, like he looking like he looks surprised.
Free State of Jones is that's a true story. Yeah, that's a historical
story. I'm just saying, like hearing it out loud, like on this podcast is crazy right now. Like,
hey man,
I'm doing
let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what else is crazy. What's the movie? Loving.
Yeah, Loving is
Loving. Yeah,
that's a crazy story. Okay, that's a very crazy story. And I'm gonna tell you why it's a crazy story. For them to have to go to trial just to get married is man.
This is the wild part about it though, bro. I mean, now would it change eventually? Maybe. Who knows? Bro, they could have left. Yeah, like the guy had family above the line, and they went there for a while. But Mildred didn't want to be away from her family, which put them back in Virginia. And that's why they fought. Bro, if she would have just been like, fuck it, we together, we'll just stay up here. We don't know if they ever would have fucking took that shit to the Supreme Court. But because she wanted to be around her family, they took that shit to the Supreme Court. That's wild, bro.
You think I'm about to? Never mind. I'm not going nowhere with this man. We're not married. That's what we're not gonna do.
What are we doing?
I'm just being honest with you. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
We didn't fell off bad, y'all.
Yeah,
we didn't fell off.
No, I mean all
but it's related though. It's all related.
All of this
though.
pertains because all of this is what's going
It's
on
about
in
Mary.
fucking 1930s Mississippi.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, and I'm all for it. And you can tell that, you know, in the movie, the character of Mary, she can hold her own.
Oh, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
She can hold her own. She's not
When
afraid.
she told Preacher Boy, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, like she was about that life, though. Like
she was about that life.
And she's like, she's what you. I don't know about Sean because I'm married to a white woman, and my wife is from Philly, and I can't handle, like, I'm from the South, and I could not handle no Southern white girl. I just couldn't do it. Like, I need a little bit of that. You got to kind of talk to me right, because if not, I get crazy with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need you to get there and come back. And I think for it to be with one of the Smokestack twins, those women that they both had were strong in their own right. They both,
yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so crazy, because we thinking it's supposed to be like this crazy vampire story, but it's got a love element in this movie as well, and it's got parts about, in the hoodoo part that I want to get to is that he says to her that, why couldn't you protect our daughter? Right. You didn't peep that part. And so, like, he has a little baggie on, and then if you notice, right before they get the you know what I'm saying, getting it in, she takes it off, and she does something else to his bag, his mojo bag. She either adds or takes something out of the bag. Then she says something to him in Creole or in French, and it get different then. Yeah, very similar to when Mary bites my boy in the neck. She's about to say something, or she's in his ear, and then she go in and do something to them. So there is some semblance there as well. We're not really talking about it, but there's some semblance in there, you know, with this whole, like, the love interest in these movies and, like, the type of women that they both are.
The most important part to me, at least, was that each woman that was with the twins represented their personality. Right? You have Mary, who is outgoing, she's loud, she's rambunctious. You know what I'm saying? She hyper. She want to be out and move and do shit like Stack is. You know what I'm saying? That's who Stack is. But then you have Annie, who's more stoic. She more, you know what I'm saying, focused. She more intuitive with what she got going on. A little bit old, you know what I'm saying, a little bit older, but she's the more mature version, just like Smoke was the more mature version. And you know what I'm saying, like, it was straight to the point. It wasn't no beating around the bush, no, none of that. Because remember, this whole time, Stack is trying to not prove that he doesn't love Mary. He's trying to show Mary that he loves her, because he's trying to stay away from her so she won't end up getting hurt, or she won't end up getting killed. And in the juke joint, scene, before she goes outside, when Remick shows up, you know what I'm saying, he tells her, like, yo, he said, you know, the only reason that I'm not with you is because that's the only way to protect you. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying, I think about you all the time. You know what I'm saying? You're the only thing on my mind. I love you, but I know I can't be with you for your safety. Yeah. And the fact that you see two of these guys, right, and they got two totally different personalities. They might look the same, but it's two totally different personalities. One is outgoing. Well, one's the extrovert, one's the introvert. But at the same time, they both protectors, and they protectors in their own right. And they protecting either something that they love or everything that they love, but in different ways. And it just shows you the heart that both of these guys had. Because when they went to go buy the place, remember, they wasn't tripping about whatever Hogwood was talking about. When Hogwood got to talking crazy, they like, hold on, you know, it ain't, Smoke said it, you know, it ain't nothing the gun can't fix. Nigga Stack right behind him with the knife, like, shit, what we about to do?
We about to poke you up now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, shit, what we about to do? But it ended up, you know what I'm saying, turning into something good, because they end up getting the old mill, aka slaughterhouse. Which I thought was hilarious that they end up calling it the slaughterhouse with everything that was going on.
It was a slaughterhouse.
I mean, no. I know it was, but I'm saying the fact that not only was the Klan coming in the morning, but the niggas had to deal with vampires at night.
Oh yeah.
That was I like that touch that they added in there. But just the fact that, you know, even with the whole snake thing, you know what I'm saying? Like Sammy, he see the snake, he freeze up. He like, nah, don't move. And Stack throw him the knife, boom, Smoke kill the snake and then throw it on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like just the fact that they always in protection, they always protecting something. You know what I'm saying? Even when the vampires came and they seen everything that happened, Smoke went into straight protection mode. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that having those women be real reflections of who they were, their personalities and who they were, but at the same time, them showing that protection of them throughout that whole time was dope as fuck. Because even when Smoke was like, yo, get her out of here, Stack was like, yeah, I got it. And he was like, yo, you know, I'm about to get your ass up out of here. And you know what I'm saying? She sweet talking real quick. And he like, man, all right, man, keep your ass in here, but stay the fuck out of trouble. So I thought that was something that, you know what I'm saying, I'm glad you pointed out, you know what I'm saying, those two women, because that was something to me that really instantly caught the second time I seen this. Was like, damn, they really are like mirrors of these men.
Nah, they really were, man. And then just the whole thing of like, when you think about Remick, right? So, I mean, the way that we introduced to him is this dude just, you know what I'm saying, run into this house where you got these racist white people. And then you got the Indian people, well, the Native Americans, what you want to call them. You know, we're not technically supposed to call them Indians anymore. But anyway, so they show up and they looking for them. And they were like, well, you invite them in. That's y'all problem now.
Well, nah, don't do him like that. Because at first he was trying to tell her, he was like, hey, you got somebody in your house. He ain't supposed to be in there. I'm trying to help you. And you know what I'm saying, of course, because, you know what I'm saying, they clanned up. She like, you know, get off my porch. Get on out of here. You know, get away. Hey.
Get away.
Get away. Get out of here.
We don't take handling to your kind around here.
We don't like your kind around here. So he was like, hey, I'm trying to help you.
Right.
He said, once the sun go down,
once the sun go down, you fuck.
Hey, his boy was like, hey, fuck that bitch. Roll out.
Like, let's go.
Yeah. Them niggas run away and say, yeah. So that's how I asked. And that was it.
Oh, yeah. So got him. so he so he turned them real quick. So he shows up. And like I was saying earlier in the pod, like the preacher boy, like he was the main person that was like, yo, like that voice, that talent. I think they looked at him as like the best like fucking recruiter. They was like, we get this guy, he could use his talents to get us whoever the fuck we want. You know what I'm saying?
Star.
Well, it was okay. So this is why I brought up that piece in the beginning, because if you paid attention to that piece in the beginning, she told the story of the whole purpose of Remick in this movie. The gift that Sammy had was, and that's why I said that scene in the juke joint is to me the most fire scene in the movie, but the most important scene in the movie is because
old people.
Yeah, she was breaking down how in different cultures and in different time periods there were people with a certain gift who could basically lift the veil of past, present, future, of alive and dead, and you know, spirits and everything else. And even though a lot of it is you know what I'm saying, good spirit, sometimes it brings a bad spirit. And I believe she called it a griot. So that's what Sammy was. Sammy was a griot in this movie. So when he sung, the whole point of Remick going to get him was not to get other people, but for him to get back to his ancestors, for him to bring his ancestors back. Because
he had been a vampire a long time.
Yeah, but remember when he told the story to Mary when they was outside, he was saying, yo, you know, it was from a time a while back when men subjugated over, I think he said like religion or something like that. So basically him being Irish, He's talking about when the Britons took over the Irish and then start turning them into Catholics.
Yeah, Catholics. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if you ever go back in history, it was a long war between Britain, Scotland, Ireland, and like a whole bunch of smaller European countries. That's what Braveheart is about, of course. But it's a bunch of different wars that they have where Britain was just taking places over. And so Ireland being one of them, what was interesting about this was had it been like 1830, Remick wouldn't even been able to been out there. Because at one point in time, the Irish were treated like how the Chinese were being treated. And the Italians were being treated like the Irish was, so on and so forth. They just basically ended up getting accepted into quote unquote whiteness. But his whole story was just the fact that he was subjugated. And so when he got turned into a vampire, his only thing was to go to what he knew, which was subjugation. And that's what he was doing to everybody. And I think that was a very important piece too that we got to definitely talk about, because I know it's supposed to be like the metaphor for colonization and all of this different stuff. But I found it interesting that they used Remick being an Irishman instead of him being an Englishman with the whole colonization part. And I know it's supposed to be like whiteness or whatever, but the fact that, when he, at the time that he was living, he basically was put into captivation and subjugation and everything else, and then forced to be, a Catholic or whatever. And then when he becomes a vampire, he's doing the exact same thing. So, you know what I'm saying? You kind of become, what's the saying? You become what you most hate or something like that. You become what you hate. And that's basically what he was.
But okay, hold on. Before we go too deep in this thing, because I know we're talking about Remick before we get on Remick. Did you not peep that how they show him coming in? They show him falling into the scene.
Yeah, he was
burning, falling into the scene. Okay, so there's a lot of parts about religion in this thing. And so before anybody jumping at me, I'm not saying it's anti-religion. So anybody to hear this, I'm not saying it's anti-religion.
Because I peeped this too.
Okay. It reminds me of the fallen angel, Michael. I mean, not Michael. Is it not? No. Lucifer. Lucifer. Sorry. So fallen angel Lucifer. He burning. He's on fire. He's coming down. He's invading. He has to be welcomed in. They welcome him in, and he turns into somebody he's not supposed to be. A couple scenes later, you get introduced to the snake.
Yep.
So normally, if you're a Christian, the snake is how this whole thing started. And had we just turned the snake down, we would have been straight. We've been living in paradise, whatever. And it's symbolic that the twins killed the snake. Do you remember what twin killed them?
It was Smoke.
Are we catching my drift? Anyone catching my drift? Catching my drift? Anybody?
Yeah, Smoke was the one that turned.
No,
Stack
turn.
Yeah.
And it's then he gives us the thing the whole time. We know who's gonna be the hero. We already know he's the one who kills the snake. He's fearless. If you go back and see who he been dealing with, though, he been dealing with the person that's supposed to be the devil, because voodoo is supposed to be the devil. And he has separated himself from her, even though that's the love of his life.
Right.
Bro, this whole movie had me. I was straight going back and forth. So then the whole thing is he wants to bring the veil. Like, I don't know how spiritual you guys are, but apparently the devil can't create anything. He can only use the things that we've already got.
Right.
So he needs somebody or something else to create for him. And to bring people.
That's why he needed Preacher Boy.
That's why he needed Preacher Boy.
That gift.
He needed the gift. And then there's a piece that I'm gonna get into real quick, and then y'all can jump in it. But the whole thing with these music executives and them saying that the music game is so dirty and they're using these people and they basically got to sell their soul to be popular. Like, that's this whole thing. It's they normally, most of these people get their start in the church. Like they start singing in the church. This time they realize they got their talent. Then they leave they go get wrapped up in the devil, and then you never see them again or whatever. And then now you got people saying that, you know, these executives are nothing but demons or whatever. So my thing is, Ryan Coogler is telling us a story that we've already heard a million times.
Absolutely.
So all I'm saying is, I wanted to throw that back to y'all and get y'all's thoughts on the whole like music industry, just possibly the vampire really just being a demon in theory, and the elements of Christianity and that.
Is that you want to
go? Well, the symbolism, like you said, you put that perfectly, by the way. And it's there. And I did forget the whole part. I didn't forget about the whole snake part, but I didn't know the significance of it when you explained it the way you explained it. Because I'm one of those guys, like I spoke about before, went to church, grew up in the church, but once I hit a certain age, I just didn't really fuck with it no more.
I get you.
But all of and JD, you said this earlier, there are so many little nuggets throughout this whole fucking film, to where when you start to tie everything together, everything kind of start to really make sense and all this type stuff. Even the way when Remick got killed or whatever, the whole tornado fire joint. You know what I'm saying?
That's Elijah ain't it?
You know what I'm saying?
That was their name.
So it's like,
that ain't that Elijah ish. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
No, that was their names.
I know Elijah and Elijah. They were both, but they're different. One's in Latin and one's in.
It was Elias and Elijah. Yeah, that was, and I thought that was something too to then see him do that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. No.
So for me, right? My quick background, I've been in a bunch of different religious arenas. I've been in a Kingdom Hall. I've been in a Church of Mormon. I've been in a mosque, synagogue, Catholic church, Baptist church, Kojic church. However, I done been around it all. Even tried Buddhism. You know what I'm saying? What I noticed off rip was the stronghold that Christianity had over us during those times, right? And going back to slavery, how they used it to continue to subjugate us, so on and so forth, whatever. That's why I thought that seeing him and seeing Cornbread sharecropping was very important. And then seeing him go to his father's church was very, very important, because a lot of this is really just a bunch of religious undertones. What I also found very important is, that's why I said I thought it was dope, was Annie being a hoodoo woman, right? And so what a lot of people don't know about voodoo and hoodoo is voodoo and hoodoo deal with the Bible a lot. I know when Jamar had said it earlier, he put it in air quotes about it being demonic, right? Because a lot of times in Christianity, if it's not a certain way, or if it doesn't come from a certain page at the Bible, or if it don't come from a certain preacher, we look at it as secular or Gnostic or some shit like that, right? Yeah. And so with hoodoo, what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of hoodoo practices come from biblical references. And because they come from biblical references, it's like when you're practicing it, you have a direct line to God, right? Like, not only do you have a direct line to God, you have a direct line to your ancestors, because through them, God is speaking through them to watch over you and take care of you, or whatever, quote unquote, your angels. So when somebody be like, boy, you got an angel on you, boy, yeah, that's your ancestor, like, looking out for you. And that's how we would always talk. And so what I thought was interesting was that contrast of seeing her do rituals and everything else. And even in church, we don't realize it, but preaching is a ritual. Preaching is the same thing that Sammy's doing, right? Sammy's doing it through music. It may not be music about God or whatever, but he's preaching through music. So is his father. So him being called Preacher Boy was perfect because his power was to bring people together under this veil of music, when his dad's calling was to bring people together under this veil of preaching. So I thought that was super dope, right? But to go back to the snake, when I first seen the snake, I was like, okay, Garden of Eden, I'm about to see how this play out. When he kills the snake, I'm like, okay, that was different. I ain't really understood what that meant, but I'm like, that's a little different. When I see Remick come into the scene, the first thing that pops into my mind, I said, that's the devil. I said, that's the devil, right? And of course, it's the Joker, it's the white devil, but that's the devil, right? So I see him, he talking to them or whatever. If you pay attention to when he's talking to them, he's not using his Irish accent. He's using a country Southern accent.
Mm-hmm.
The devil has a tongue of many languages, so he's able to connect. He's able to connect with them, and they like, yeah, he looked like them. Yeah, come on in, Choctaw. Yeah, we ain't worried about them. So when he finally gets them in, and he finally has them, they all have one mind, right? The one thing he took away was what? They free will.
Free will, yeah.
I peeped that. I'm like, oh shit, so now I'm into it because I'm like, this shit getting good. This is the second time I'm watching it. I'm like, this shit getting good, right? A very important part of the movie. Going back, and that's why I said this is the best scene, bro. The juke scene. Everybody's dancing, having fun. They own to the thing, everything, right? If you pay attention to when everybody is together, when they doing the griot thing, and you see all the different times and all the different places and people, and you see all the different names. What they're doing is not only are they showing you how the music connects, but they're showing you how the people connect. If you pay attention to what's happening, when he's playing the guitar, they showing you somebody from the past playing guitar, and they show you somebody from the future playing guitar, right? When they go to the people dancing, they showing you people from the past dancing, so it's the people from the village that's doing all the different dances, and then they showing you the people from the future dancing, whether it be the dudes sea walking or the women.
I know where you're going with this, Scoots. Keep going. I know where you're going.
So
I know you're
when
going.
they turn back around after you see the women twerk, right? When they turn back around, you see a lady. She's doing a ritualistic dance where she, moving her behind. When then they turn back around to where they go to the chows, and then you see the Asian people dancing, right? And you see how they dancing, they movements and everything else. If you notice, everybody else is grinding up on each other and doing everything else. The chows are like ballroom dancing. He spin himself into it. It's the similar movements of what the Chinese people was doing, right? You also see somebody sea walking, and then you also see where the dude got the guard bone and he moving his feet. He moving his feet real fast. If you pay attention for a slight second, when they move away from him, it's another dude making real weird movements, but he juking. And that's to symbolize, that's to symbolize what the dude with the guard was doing, right? So you notice that everybody full of life, everybody got this, they got this life about them. They movement it's music, like it's giving something to them to where they going, right? Then they turn to Remick after he get everybody and they all outside.
Y'all doing the same shit.
They all outside singing when they throw dude out. When they thought dude was dead, they throw him out just in case, right? Which I thought that shit was funny as fuck though. But they ain't know. They was like, get this nigga out of here. We ain't taking no chances. Right before they was about to walk in, if you notice, Smoke about to walk back in. Sammy hears it and stops dead in his tracks.
Yeah, stops. Yeah.
And you don't even hear it until he say it. He say, you don't hear that? And Smoke like, what? He said, they singing. And then it goes to them singing. And they doing the song or whatever. If you notice how they dancing and how they moving, they all either moving in unison or they all doing like this lifeless like dancing. They all doing you see Cornbread doing like this. You see Stack jumping back and forth. You see Mary doing all this little shit. And you get to seeing it and it's like, damn. And then even when you hear the music, if you listen to the music, it sounds soulless. It don't sound like it's It don't sound like nothing. It just sounds like pain. It just sounds like constant pain. And so even the distinction between the two sounds is different. Even when you hear Delta Slim on the keys, he in there, he doing this thing, and they come out pick, pour, rob, and clean. You like, man, if you don't get this bullshit off the goddamn board, man, hey, hell no. Smokers like, hell no, they're not coming here with that bullshit, man. They gonna fuck the night up with that shit, man. Stack, if you pay attention to Stack though, Stack laughing, he thinking it's funny. He like, yeah, they motherfuckers like they on beat and shit. They got a little, they got their little routine and shit. That was cute. So it was funny because the whole time after everything happened.
But listen to what they saying though. Listen to the song that they singing.
Oh yeah, Pick, Pour, Rob, and Clean. So the Pick, Pour, Rob, and Clean song is basically they talking about how they picking off a dead body. You know what I'm saying? Robin is dead, but they don't, neither one of them got shit. But since Robin is dead, I'm gonna take everything Robin got because he can't use it no more. And so that was a very, when I found out what that song was about, I was like, that's crazy that they put that in there. Their rendition of the song is yeah. When you hear the original song, you'd be like, oh, okay. But so them singing that, and you know what I'm saying, knowing what they were was very, very, I was like, yeah, he cutting in. But back to the religious aspects of it though, Smoke, I think the reason that he didn't go through what Stack went through as far as getting turned or whatever, or even the fact that Mary got turned, right? Because of the way that they were. They was focused, they was intuitive, they was in tune with who they were. With Stack, because he was so loose and he was so out there, it was easier to get to him, right? It was easier to get to Mary because Mary, like, I mean, shit, they think I'm a white woman anyway. Let me go out there and talk to him. So she go out and talk to him, and Remick instantly knew, oh yeah, you dealing with some pain. I already know what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? I could have saved your mom. And she like, what the fuck you talking about? Bow. And then now she turned, and if you notice, this was the very important thing. If you notice, when Mary get to that door, she don't ask to come in the same way everybody else asks to come in. When she asks to come in, she tell Cornbread, let me in so I can go finish partying. Cornbread like, yeah, sure. Everybody else is asking, yo, you gonna let me in?
Yeah.
So when Cornbread came back, he was like, yo, y'all gonna let me in or not? And Annie like, yo, what your big ass need to be invited in for?
Yeah.
You could whoop everybody ass. You the bouncer, right? Nah, you dead. So her whole thing was, and remember they had talked about this before, yo, you don't understand that when you talking about this money and this power and everything else, you allowing these spirits and all these connections to get to you that you don't have no idea about. Because remember, Smoke told her, I done been all around the world. I done been on planes, trains. I done been on everything. I done seen men die in ways I never thought or imagined. I ain't never seen no damn ghost, no nothing. She like, you a fool, because what you seen, everything you seen was what I'm talking about. You just don't understand that's what it is. And so that night, I think the personification of all that was Remick. That's what Remick brought to it. And then it was a very important part too, where when Remick come to the door, when Cornbread was there, and he was talking or whatever, and he was like, yeah, he was like, y'all don't even know I'm here. And he was like, you here because of me. You the devil. Remick ain't say nothing. He ain't even say no. So I was like, oh my God. But the instant I seen him come into that scene, I said, bro, that got to be the devil. And then when I seen him singing, I said, yeah, that's the devil. Because Lucifer is also the minister of music.
Great musician.
Yeah. So I was like, that's crazy. And then this is another cold piece too. To make Remick the quote unquote devil figure and to turn him into a vampire, right? When everybody knows,
still in the culture.
Yeah, when everybody knows, not yeah, exactly, still in the culture, but also when everybody knows that Lucifer was the light bringer as well. So to take away the one thing that he was supposed to do from him the whole time was, you know what I'm saying, something that I paid attention to as well. Because when he got casted away from Earth, he ain't supposed to be in light. That's why like I know nowadays they portray him as like this red figure or whatever. But if you go watch Passion of the Christ,
yep.
And this is one thing I thought that was super interesting about that film. When you go watch Passion of the Christ, the person or the figure that's supposed to be portraying the devil or Lucifer or whatever has real pale skin, but when it's outside, it got a hood on, it got a veil on, and it cover up his hands. And it don't let the sun touch him. I thought that was very, very important too.
I peeped that like straight away. Like I'm talking about like straight away. When he fell down, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
It almost should put me in the mind that it was almost kind of like Men in Blackish. When my man, when the little farmer dude get taken over by the alien, and he going to the door.
Yeah.
And you know some bad stuff about to happen to that family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
There's so many different things in this movie, but like I really was feeling the fallen angel part of it, and I didn't we gotta let Sean finish this what he was about to say, but that's what I was feeling though. Like I was like, man,
that's what got me into it the second time too, because I started seeing them religious aspects. I'm like, bro, it's something else in this motherfucker. And that second time I seen it, I was like, okay, now I'm catching on to it.
See, that's where you got the advantage on me, because I only watched it once. Yeah. So I'm going off of memory and watching this shit like 3 weeks ago. So, but no, like everybody, like, both of y'all got great points, especially when it comes to all of the religion shit. Mm-hmm. But I don't even remember that point. I remember I was talking about the whole tornado joint, the whole when it
the fire,
when the fire had turned into the tornado joint, and like him, like, well, that was Smoke. Hold on, see, now I'm forgetting which one wasn't.
Smoke is the one who killed him.
Smoke is the good one.
Yeah. So it was Smoke, and he sent his nephew on. Not his nephew, his cousin.
Cousin, yeah.
So anyway, I also like the whole thing of starting the movie
from the ending.
Part from the end or whatever, and then just kind of letting the story create on from where, because he left, which we'll get to the end credit scene, because we gotta get into that, because that part was fucking dope as fuck. Yeah. But damn, what was the point I was trying to make?
You was talking about him. You was talking about starting from the beginning. I mean, starting from the end.
Yeah, starting from the end. I love when we do shit like that. Mm-hmm. First of all, because you think you know something when you really don't. Right. Like it give you like a sneak peek of like what you think you may know, and then once we get the whole backstory of everything, and what was the fucking dude? Was it Hog? What was that guy name? Hogwood. So when Hogwood showed, he showed back up.
My favorite scene.
After a fucking hell of a night.
Absolutely.
No pun intended. Yeah. After a hell of a night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he shows up. He got all his boys with him. Smoke had already prepared for this moment. Mm-hmm. Start sniping them at first. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With the tank top on. It's the G unit tank top.
Nah, nigga, that was a
tank top. That was a beater.
Top for sure. That was the original. Yeah, that was the.
That was
That
he was drinking Prohibition beer.
You said it was a Prohibition beater.
Yeah, that's a Prohibition beater. That dude was drinking moonshine all night. Came home, beat somebody ass.
Sweat stains and all, bro. Sweat stains and all. Nigga, them beaters came with shotguns.
Yeah, bro. You got one of them. Yeah. It's got a permanent, like, I sweat a lot stain.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Built-in taco meat right here.
Absolutely. And that motherfucker thick as a quilt.
Like, damn, you don't even need no other shirt. You be sweating through this.
Yeah, that shit was thick as fuck.
That's a one shirt wife beater. Like, you don't need no other shirt up under it.
Yeah. Nah. If you wear another shirt on top of that, I understood why they was in church sweating like that. Nigga, you have a sweater on up under your shirt, right? You got a sleeveless sweater on.
Exactly.
Under that
yes.
Nigga, internal temperature hot. Nigga, you look like a rotisserie chicken. Like you are
absolutely, bro. Glistening.
Temperature is hot.
Oh God, boy, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
but
no, that was the piece to resistance of the film. To me, I'm sorry. That's how many movies do we get to see a nigga killing the Klan, man?
It's not many.
Come on, bro.
It's not many.
Not by
It did
himself.
Solo.
Hey,
Yes, Solo.
Yes. He blew them niggas up with a grenade, my nigga. This nigga was also Terminator Rambo shit. I was like, yes. Oh, that's what happened. I was in the theater, right? And because I had already seen this before, the scene where he start killing all the Klan members after he get done killing the Klan members, I clap. You know what I'm saying? I clap. I don't say nothing. I just clap. I didn't know it was a white dude sitting down in the robe in front of me. That motherfucker got up and looked at me. I just looked at him like, yeah, he did that. He did that.
So if you get out of pocket, y'all want to start this shit back up.
This ain't the movie to fuck with me after. I promise you. This ain't the movie to fuck with me after.
I didn't got some go aheads.
Yeah. Hey. You know what I'm saying? You know we get amped up when racism be on film, bro.
Hey, you got that power like what Eddie Murphy had said, and it was either Delirious or Raw. He said Italian people after they watch right. Hey, I'll be honest with you, bro. Anytime I see racism on film, bro, and I walk out, I be waiting on a white person to say something.
They just as uncomfortable. And what's crazy, y'all. They just as uncomfortable about this shit as we is. Like they leave. They like I see something.
They didn't know what to say.
Like Sarah was in there like you gotta be you good. You didn't pay your
good.
dude.
Yeah, ain't no hiding. You married a black man. You good.
Yeah.
You doing the right thing. You doing the right thing.
Yeah. You living right.
You're the right thing.
Yeah. Oh, you did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. So what you were saying though, man?
Nah, like man, listen. That whole part obviously phenomenal, right? You know what I'm saying? Preacher boy leaves, he go create his own life or whatever. Now we get to the end credit.
Hold on, can we mention something before we get to the end credit real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
The guitar. Mm-hmm. We did not mention the guitar.
Music saved his life.
Not only did it save his life, but the fact that they lied to him about where the guitar came from to begin with.
Oh yeah,
it was their dad's guitar.
Yeah.
But see, I excuse me, I thought that was dope that Stack did that, right? The fact that he knew who somebody that his cousin liked and was like, yeah, that's his guitar, you know what I'm saying? We won it off a dice game, or we went off a card game or whatever. That gave Sammy a different type of confidence. That gave him a different type of energy when he heard that. Because remember, when he heard it, he instantly got to playing that motherfucker. Yeah, and it was, bruh, amazing. So the fact that Stack did that, to me, he was more like the brother figure to Sammy, and I feel like Smoke was more like a father figure to Sammy.
Mm-hmm. Because he was more Stat was more immature.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is the part I want to get at. So the in the movie, like you know what I'm saying, he has the guitar. The guitar not only it saves his life because when he hit him over the head with it, it was burning.
Yeah, the silver,
because it was silver. Mm-hmm. And so it makes all the other vampires start freaking out. Like they start like bugging. They can't think. And it's back to that, hey, we got this mob mentality where we can't think for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So whatever happens when we get hit in the head and we try to come out of it, it be tripping. We can't get out of it. So then the thing, he about to die, and my man don't die. So I'm like, they're gonna kill my man. He gonna turn them whatever before the time come, and they all burn up. The only part that had me throw, and we about to get to this with your man's, how they didn't die.
Oh, easy. Remember, Stack was still inside.
Right.
Mary was too.
No, Mary left. Mary took off running.
She ran off.
She took off running. So I think she ran for cover before the sun came up.
Yeah. Well, Stack was definitely inside.
He stayed in there.
Remember when the Klan came, that motherfucker was locked.
Yep.
I think he locked him in there to save him.
Well, but he also had a conversation with him too.
That's why, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because he would have had to, because he told him to stay away from Sammy. But another real quick, because I forgot this part about the religious part too. Remember when Remick had Sammy and they was in the water? I thought it was
Baptism.
interesting that I thought it was interesting he kept dunking them in the water, and when Sammy came back up, he started praying. No, when Sammy got caught, he started praying,
and they knew it better than him
because he was Catholic. So he was like, yeah, he said, I've heard that. He said, I've heard that too many times and recited it too many times. And after he did it, that's when he started dunking them in the water like he was baptizing them. I was like, that was crazy.
But if you throw it back to the religious piece, like they always say that the devil know the Bible better than any of us.
He would.
And he used it and twisted. Yeah. And he, used it and twisted to fit like so the word ain't necessarily gonna never save you. All it's ever is supposed to be is a guide, but the word ain't gonna save you in general, like because he know the word better than us. So to put him back in that position and like basically take everybody that was a Christian who like be watching this, and now you got to sit here and like now you face with it. Everybody think that Ryan Coogler is like anti-religion. He's like, no, like bro, have your religion, like be religious, like you need something, but like please believe like this. You need to have your own understanding.
Faith without works is dead, bro.
Yeah, you gotta have your own understanding to it. So even if people say, "Hey, I'm not that into the Bible. I'm not into religion," you better know what you're dealing with every day when you walk outside.
Absolutely.
You better know that demon. It might not look like a demon. That demon might look like a pretty girl, or that demon might look like a dude that want to be your homeboy.
Yeah,
That's the if you see her walking down the street, the devil.
Listen, so it's just you gotta be mindful in the way that they use it. And I'm gonna let you forget to the end of the but Sean, this movie was a masterpiece of metaphors and imagery and knowledge. And the dude, this Ryan Coogler guy, man, like he is a force, bro. He really is.
Yeah, he definitely is. But like you were saying earlier, like so all of the people that was stuck out there, and I will say that it is interesting that the only two people was able to shy away from, doing the same thing that everybody else was doing. Now, I don't know how they were able to do that necessarily, because you remember, like y'all was saying earlier, like when they was out there dancing and all that type of stuff, like everybody was in sequence, everybody's doing the same thing, everybody's doing what he's doing. But it did get to a point where Mary took off running, and when Stack and Smoke had their whole thing, and when he told him, stay away from Preacher Boy and all that type of shit like that, and everybody else kind of vanished and everybody go their own ways, all the type shit. So Preacher Boy leaves the town. So then you have, now I don't know the significance of this. Maybe y'all know the guy that they had to play Preacher Boy as the older guy. They say he's a blues player. No, I don't. No, I don't listen.
That's Buddy Guy.
That's Buddy. Yeah.
Okay, you can say his name. Okay. All right. Okay. I believe you.
No. I'm just saying, like, no. He's a legend. Matter of fact,
like a blues legend.
I know you remember Shauna from DTP.
Yep, that's her daddy.
That's her daddy. That's her daddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Buddy Guy is like he's our Robert Johnson.
Yes, but do you know where he's from though? That's the part that sticks out.
Where?
Do you know where he's from?
Where?
He is from Chicago.
Okay.
He's a Chicago jazz, Chicago blues, which that's where they're coming from in the movie. They just
I think that's where, and I think that's where he was going.
No, that's where he was in '92.
That's where he was that night when they went.
No, I'm saying no. What I'm saying is, I believe that when he was driving off with the broken guitar, I believe that's where he went.
Remember, Chicago. That's what he told Smoke when they was at the what's the name?
I want to see Chicago.
That at the thing. He was like, he said maybe I'll just leave and go to Chicago. And Smoke was like, nah. He said if I see you playing at a juke joint, I kill you myself. He was like, well, you just gonna have to do it. And then Smoke pulled the gun. Was like, you don't know what you just did. You just gave a soldier a command. But he told him he was going.
Yeah. And so he's playing old man at this point, and then Bouncer, I guess it was a bouncer, was like, yo, like somebody want to pay some money, they want to see you or whatever, whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
then they walk in, you know what I'm saying, looking like 1992. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, with the Coogee on. He got the box cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She got the dress on with the coat over. Yeah. And it's like, wow. And like for him, and I do sympathize a little bit with Smoke, because like when they was asking, like he was like, yeah, I still remember that night. And he was like, yeah, so that's the last night I saw the sun and the last time I saw my brother. And he was just like, and the last thing that he told me was to stay away from you. And he's like, basically I can smell your blood. You ain't got that much time left. Mm-hmm. So if you want to, you know what I'm saying, you can come on over, you know what I'm saying, and just keep this shit pushing. But
hell no.
Yeah, I would have been like, fuck that, man. Let me die at this point. I don't want to be fucking
waited too goddamn
80
long
all the time.
Fuck, you should have got me when I was 50. What you was at when I was 35?
I was like 30-something, nigga, in my prime. You wait till now? Fuck no, nigga.
Y'all should have got me when they got y'all.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, he said, nah, I'm cool. Yeah, nigga, no, I don't know.
I want to be a demon now. It's too late.
You wait till all this time. You could have caught me whenever. You wait till now, nigga. No, man, fuck out of here, man.
But I think he waited to that point because he could smell his blood and knew he didn't have that much time left. So I think that's why he broke his brother's promise. But he didn't break his brother's promise. He still asked him like, yo, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, I got you. But if not, cool, or whatever, whatnot. But he was able to, even though he lost all the things that he lost, he got eternal life. He's with the girl that he, you know what I'm saying, that he loved, obviously. So they just out here living life, which I thought this end credit shit, man. I don't know who started. I feel like Marvel started this.
Marvel made it popular. They didn't start it though. Marvel made it popular.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Like they made it really, really popular of like doing like these end credit scenes which I'm not mad at it, because I was listening to this one podcast and this dude was talking about like how it's insulting for people to leave during credits. Yeah. And it was like, you have all of these people who put in a hand, in which he's right. He's 1000% right. The only thing is we just don't know these people. Like it's just a whole bunch of names to a lot of people. So it's like, all right, like it's cool. But like the guy was just saying like, yo, like these people put in like hard earned work in, and then when their names are showing, we walking out. So it's kind of like a thing where it's like, all right, let's get people through at least through most of it, and then kind of, cool, whatever. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. But I thought the end credit scene. What's up?
You missed something, and that was back to the Christianity piece of this, because he basically says, "Hey, we've been watching you. I can smell your blood." Like there's a whole bunch of people like in the Christian world that believe that demons watch you just as much as angels do. Yeah. And so like he's giving like the thing, hey, we're not gonna harm you. It's like if you believe in like the Bible, you read Job, like basically Job, he tells Job, hey, he tells Job, Jesus tells tells Satan, you can be around him, but you can't hurt him. You can never hurt him again. You can't harm him, you can't take his life. And so like it's like that, like it's a lot of that stuff going around, like a little Bible references, but I peeped that and I'm like, dang, at the very end of your life, you're gonna give him this ability to not die.
Well, the inviting thing is a religious aspect as well, because speaking on the whole Job thing, when God made the bet with the devil about whether or not Job, would stay faithful. Yeah, that's what the inviting thing is, the free will part, right? Yeah. When you inviting them in, you giving up your free will. You know what I'm saying? You accepting this assimilation. You know what I'm saying? Like you losing everything unique about you, and you giving it to, quote unquote, the devil. Because that was the whole thing with Remick. Remember, he was like, yo, once I turn them, I can read their minds. I get all their memories. Hell, what's the name? Because remember they told him, yeah, his uncle is Hogwood. They with the clan. They coming to kill y'all tomorrow.
Facts.
So that whole thing was about more than just, you know what I'm saying, like the vampire part. It was more so like, yo, do you continue to be who you are and deal with what you're dealing with, or do you assimilate into this and become something totally different, but you lose yourself in the process?
And that's what I was getting at. Yeah. Because they come back and they look like really successful. They get on all the trendy clothes. They look amazing. They pull up. I'm like, dang, like that's what the word. That's what the whole part of it is. Like, let us do this to you. Like, let us make you popular. Let's make you famous. But in the process, you lose yourself in this process.
Yep.
So that's what I took. Like, hey man, we'll let you come with us. Like, you ain't gotta. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be like them. You don't need to be like different. Like, be like us. We good. We straight. We gonna live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that, and we try to tell our kids that, because we all got kids. Like, we all try to tell our kids that. Like, don't take the apple. Like, don't do the thing, because it's gonna make you like everybody else. What makes you like real is that you your own person. You got your own thoughts, and so I think that was cool. And I'm not sure if that was even what he was going for. But I'm telling you, like, as soon as I saw that particular scene, yeah, I was enamored that they came back to check on them. Yeah. But it even led me to believe, like, hey, they make it look really, really good to be on this side, even though you know they dead. They don't have no future. Like, right. they got all this time with no future.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it was crazy to me. I told my wife, I was like, that was probably the part that stuck out to me the most. Is they bring them back looking very successful, because they've been alive for forever. And they're going to be alive, so they're going to have all the money compiled. They're going to have all the things, but they have no future. There's no afterlife for them.
Right.
So it was crazy.
Another thing, real quick, so because I know we're trying to wrap this up, but another thing that stuck out to me, bro, was, I don't know if y'all ever heard this, and y'all more than likely did, but remember back in the day, like when you was young, your grandma used to tell you, like, don't take no wooden nickels. When that nigga put them nickels down there, bro, that's the first thing that popped up in my head. I said, hell nah. I said, don't take them wooden nickels. I was thinking that in my head, like, don't take them wooden nickels. But now I understand the importance of don't take no wooden nickels. Is because it means something totally different than what I always thought. I always just thought, don't take no, you know what I'm saying? Don't be a fool. But it's not. That is the fact that this is gonna keep you in the situation you in. This ain't gonna help you get out of no shit. This is whatever you get into is what you're gonna be into if you take them with nickels. And I was like, damn, that was a very deep part for me, because I heard that all my life growing up between both of my grandmothers. And to see wood nickels and to see the fact that this man was a sharecropper, like, damn, like, yeah, you might have got out of slavery, but you still doing the same shit that your father and your grandfather and your mother and your grandmother was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because of this piece of material. So I thought that was an interesting point to put in there too, though.
I agree.
So, are we doing Fire Flames?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the Fire Flames.
All right.
Yoga Fire, Yoga Flame.
All right, JD, man. So since you're the guest, we're gonna let you go first. On the scale of 1 to 10, a scale of 1 to 5, I'm sorry. Scale of 1 to 5, how many Fire Flames are you giving this? You can do 0.5s too.
And the top is 5?
Yeah.
5. It's easy.
Cool.
5. Easy.
Is that
and the young boys, they say the fuck.
I would say something just to be different, but nah. I'm going to 5, man.
Absolutely. Okay, so we all in agreement. Because listen, as I'm driving home today, I'm thinking to myself, bro, is this really like a 5 Fire Flame movie? And I'm thinking, I done seen it twice, and I'm like, from beginning to end, this motherfucking movie is captivating. This movie is amazing. The acting is phenomenal. Fucking Delroy Lindo, bro. We ain't even talk about Delroy Lindo. Yo. bro. That when they driving down through the fucking cotton fields and they see the fucking the chain gang, and he go, hold your heads, and he's tell the story about how all of them got caught up and what happened to his boy. I was like, God damn, bro. Like you forget for a slight second that this nigga is British. You forget that Del Orlando is British or Korea. He might not be British. He might be from like the Virgin Islands, but the nigga is connected to Britain because he got like an English accent though. But you forget Wumi ain't Black American. Like you forget a lot of this shit, bro, because that's how good they are in this shit. Like this is like even for I ain't gonna lie, for most of the movie, I'm forgetting Michael B. Jordan playing two roles.
Like, because they're so different.
Yes.
And they're in the same scene. They're not even a lot of times they're in the same scene. Like the one he whittling away at the knife, and the other one is talking his shit.
Bro,
like,
it don't feel like it's Michael B. Jordan on either one of them, bro. And this is the best Michael B. Jordan I've seen since Killmonger.
Hold on. So this is their third movie together, right?
Nope.
Black Panther.
Nope. They did Fruitvale
Station,
they did
Creed.
Fruitvale Station.
They did
Creed.
all the Creeds.
No, he just did one of the Creeds.
He
just did the first one. He just did the first one.
So it's like fourth one then.
He only did one. I don't know who did the second one, but Michael directed the third one.
Yeah, he did direct the third one. You're right. So it was Fruitvale Station, Black Panther, Creed, and this. It might be 5 though. I might be missing one.
Well, both of the Black Panthers. He did both of the Black Panthers.
So
I'm Wakanda Forever too.
Well, no, yeah.
But he
so it's 4 because he did. He did.
Michael B. Jordan in the fourth one?
No, he wasn't.
Michael B. Jordan was in Wakanda Forever.
He in there for like a second. He not in it.
But he in it. When Shuri go to the ancestral lands, Michael B. Jordan is there.
Oh, you're right. That's who she talked to.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, she talked to him.
Okay,
that's right.
My bad. I repent. My bad.
Yeah. So that's right. He's in all the Black Panthers. He's in Creed, this and Fruitvale Station. But
so in 4 or 5. 5 movies with this man.
Yeah.
Like it's not getting worse. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you see like a director and a talent, they have a comfortability. Like I think he pushed him more in this role than he's ever been pushed in any role he's ever had.
Absolutely.
Like
I agree.
And he trying to show you, and Michael B. Jordan showing you some range, bro. Because I've always seen him as like the action dude.
Yep.
You know, he gotta be muscles, he action. But this movie, he had some action at the very end, but for the most part, it's just his raw acting. It's two different people. The whole movie, it's captivating, bro. Like this dude, he got some layers to him, man.
Yeah, for sure. Because he been doing it since he's been a kid. But the fact that not only did he have to play 2 roles, he had to play 2 different roles. He literally had to be 2 different people the whole time. So for him to be able to do that in this movie was amazing. And then shout out to Miles Catton too, because this is his debut. Not only is this his debut, this nigga was 19 when they was filming this.
It's crazy,
bruh. I wish. They said that he didn't even know how to play the guitar. He taught himself how to play the guitar in order to do this role. So shout out to Miles Catton, bro, because that was amazing.
His mom is a famous singer though. Famous
Tiffany Figueroa.
Yeah, she's a famous Christian singer.
Gospel singer,
Gospel singer, yeah. So
her sister is too, and then
the Canton sisters.
Yep, her sister's son is a Broadway star. So their family is doing big shit, bro. So shout out to them for sure. But yeah, he he did his thing in this. And then Haley Steinfeld too, man. So salute to her. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this is the first time I've actually like seen her and paid attention to her. You know what I mean? So she did her thing in this. Delroy speaks for herself. And then Wumi, salute to her. Because she was in Lovecraft Country. And to me, I felt like she stole the show in Lovecraft Country. because of the character that she played. But in this, yeah, she doing her thing, bro. I want to see her. I want to see her in a lot more. I want to say she was in. Was she in the Loki series too?
She was in Loki.
She was the time catcher.
Yeah,
she was the timekeeper.
She was Loki too. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, she doing big stuff right now, man. So salute to her. Ryan Coogler. If somebody can get this to Ryan Coogler, man, keep it up, please. Because S. Dot knows this. I've been crying and begging and bitching and complaining about black movies being unique and black movies being fresh and just telling a regular fucking story. That's all I've been asking. I'm sick and tired of seeing biopics and slave movies and civil rights movies and shit. That ain't all we are. Sometimes we want to kill vampires. Sometimes we want to get some ass and rule Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just want to steal some money from some fucking mafia people and start a fucking juke joint. And my man fucking delivered, bro. This was not only a unique story, but this shit was brilliant, bro. So salute to Ryan Coogler, man. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it.
Facts.
Man, listen, if you enjoyed this episode, if you didn't enjoy this episode, if you two if you two just want to stay out in the sun and not get bit by a vampire, or hell, if you want to trick the clan and kill them, hit us up. Let us know, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up on the social. As the ones we stated earlier, or you can hit me up personally. You can find me on Twitter at Schools Bronson. I got a link tree in my bio. You can follow me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at S.Foster8 on Instagram, TikTok, and X. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. And JD, tell them where to find you, man.
Man, you can find me on the Twitter, on the X, I guess is what they call themselves now. You can find me at D2N_LLC. I'll be on there. I'll be trying to do pod. I'm trying to get back in the pod, man. I fell off for a minute, so I was glad I was able to get with these guys, man. I appreciate you boys for letting me come on.
We appreciate you for coming up here, bro.
I've been watching. I'll be watching from afar, though. I'll be trying to catch these when I can catch them, man. So it's a pleasure to get to come on here and cut up and really talk movies, cause man, that's my say. I love sports. Everybody know I love sports, but man, my second love is definitely cinema. I'm not as in tune as y'all guys are making the notes and whatnot, but there's a couple of different ones. Like I think my favorite show that I watched in the last probably 10 years is probably Lovecraft Country. Those are my favorite shows, and it was very similar to the Sinners movie. So when somebody made that like that distinction with me, I had to go see Sinners. It wasn't even I was like, dang, okay. But then I thought, so then I had to go back, and I remember that was a Peel show. That wasn't I thought it was a Ryan Coogler at first, but then I didn't realize it was Peel. So these two directors in general are definitely they coming out with some stuff, man. And us as African American Black people trying to be consumers out in the field, like we really gotta big them up and really promote their stuff, because they got some heat and they really trying to represent us in like the way that it's for us. So if we don't continue to promote them and big up their stuff, man, they gonna cast them out to the side. So I'm glad this move right here is getting a lot of attention from people other than us. Like it's getting a lot of love from everybody.
Yeah. Another thing real quick before we leave out of here. All you people that's online talking about this movie is demonic, then keep your ass at home. Don't get online talking about don't go see this movie. Don't nobody believe that shit but you. Keep your ass at home. We don't want to hear that shit. We need to support the fuck out of Ryan Coogler, because if we don't get a Ryan Coogler, guess what? We won't get shit else at this point.
And it's not demonic. He's telling you to follow your way, like follow God. It's not if you watch the movie, he's not telling you to go with the devil. He's actually telling you to do the opposite.
He's telling you stay the fuck away from the devil.
Yeah, he's saying stay out of the Mississippi Delta. Like, that's what he's telling you.
Absolutely, especially at night.
The devil is in Mississippi. Like, stay the hell out of them.
They don't tell them what the fuck out there. The devil, the Klan, nigga.
They've been saying that forever. They've been saying that forever. Stay the hell out of Mississippi and stay the hell out of the way from the devils. The devils.
Brett Favre down there too. Stay the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
he still deserve an ass whooping, by the way. We gonna get you, Brett Favre. But
that part.
Fuck Brett Favre up, man. Man, listen, man. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. As always, your support is greatly appreciated, man. Without you, there could be no us. And once again, thanks, man, to Jamar for coming through. Listen, until the next episode, man. Like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.